Good morning or good afternoon, everyone, depending on where you are watching this in the world. It's Wednesday. It's quarter to 12 here in the UK, and we are doing this special edition live in conversation with Gary Brown this morning, who was not only a good friend of mine, but also collaborator, partner in crime, lots of different things. Hi, Gary. Thanks for joining me.
Hi, Brian. Thank you so much. And hi to everyone who's joining or watching later.
Yes, yes, indeed. So we're going to do a bit of chat about sales, and in particular about not having to pay for advertising and that kind of theme. So, Gary, you're an expert in sales. Um, you've got many years of experience in sales. How come you think a lot of people are tempted to pay for advertising?
I really like that question. And I also want to clarify something about my views on marketing, because sometimes people think I don't believe in any marketing. In my opinion, this is just my opinion, the difference between sales and marketing are twofold. Firstly, in sales, you're generally judged by revenue. In marketing, you're generally judged by likes and shares or how many people came to an event. And the problem, as someone in sales, with that view of marketing is that you can't pay your bills with Facebook likes. You can't pay your bills with the number of people that came to your event unless you're charging for that. You pay everything with your revenue and your profit. And so when somebody says, if I pay you one, what am I going to get? And one person saying, well, if this goes well, you should get 4 or 5 in return for your one. And someone else says, well, I don't know, but we'll generate lots of interest that might lead to other things. You have to start thinking, where should I spend this £1? And obviously, with bigger numbers, it's even more. And so I think people are tempted to pay for marketing because marketing takes a lot of the time-consuming tasks away and can get you results quicker. To pick up the phone and call 10 people a day, which I don't think is too much if you have a real focused market. You'll call 50 people a week, but that's 5 hours of your day gone. Or you can pay somebody, £500,000 a month to do some PPC, SEO, Facebook or LinkedIn advertising to you, saying we're going to reach out to 10,000 people. It sounds great, but
Yeah.
I keep meeting people that it doesn't work. If your marketing's working, that's great. This isn't for you. But I just meet
I don't
too
think it
many
works for
people.
most people. Yeah,
Right,
for
especially
most
the
people, I
small
don't
to
think it works.
medium businesses where every penny counts. They don't have 5 grand to waste. And one other thing I'd say is I talk about having a return of 3 or 4 times what you're paying, because a lot of people also make this mistake. If you spend one on something in marketing, even in sales as well, if you spend one on something and you get one back, you didn't make any money. If you get 2 back, you also didn't make any money because one went on the spend, and the second X is actually the time or the cost of goods to provide what you provide to your clients. It's only at the 3X level that you're actually making money. And so when people say, oh, I do marketing and it works, and, especially like with networking groups, oh, I spend X amount per year and I got this back. When that figure's less than 3 times, they actually could have spent that money much wiser. But I'm talking about B2B, and I want to stress that. If you're working B2C, especially with GDPR, you have to do marketing. You do need to do marketing, and I advocate that, and I have marketing partners. But in the B2B world, I just think you know, unless your marketing's working really well, there are other things you can do that just take an hour a day of your time, and you don't need to pay for that marketing. That money is better spent elsewhere.
Before we get into the to then how to achieve that, I just want to say to everyone out there, so if we're streaming on 3 channels, so Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube, please smash the like button. But also, if you have any questions, whilst we're doing the live stream, please put them into the comments box, and we will, especially Gary, will try as hard as he can to try and answer them. If we can't provide you with an answer here live, then we will come back to you with an answer after. So I just wanted to put that sort of out there. So what's the effective ways, you think, Gary, of trying to achieve the sales part without having to pay for it then?
Well, I'll give you
That's
one example.
that's the golden nugget, isn't it?
Yeah, I'll give. This is the other thing. I keep meeting business owners who are like, "This is how I get clients. I do one thing, regardless of how well it works. This is what I do." You should be attacking sales from multiple avenues, multiple channels. You should be picking up the phone and doing cold approach phone calls. And the reason I call it that and not cold calling is random, sporadic. You shouldn't do that. But if you have a certain market you believe is a good fit for what you offer, there is absolutely nothing wrong. And it frustrates me when I see people being apologetic for doing sales, or people claiming, I never sell. If you never sell, you don't have a business. But to say, I believe companies in industry X are a good fit for me, I'm going to pick up the phone, even though I haven't been asked to, and I'm just going to say, would you like to have a chat, see if we can work together? There's nothing wrong with that. People seem to think calling someone who hasn't asked you to call is a crime worthy of capital punishment, and it's not.
Yeah.
And the truth is, if you think about it, networking, especially face to face, we do go up to people who haven't asked us to speak to them as part of what we're doing. And there's nothing wrong with that. You should be polite. If someone says no, accept it and move on. Don't hound people. Follow up is a very subtle art. You have to follow up. It's important, but you do it in the right way. You leave some time. You allow people time to think about things. I say to my clients very often, people have other things going on in their lives apart from your product or service. Respect that,
Yeah.
So all these things, I'll give you another example. You're a great example. You build websites, incredibly affordable. I tell everyone to use the web, guys. And you give surgeries on how to generate traffic with SEO without paying for it to their website. And that's a great example where you asked me before, why do people pay for marketing? Well, I can sit for an hour and listen to Brian and then do the work. Or I can pay someone 500 quid and not have to do any of that work. And I think that is why people gravitate towards marketing, because they don't want to put the work in. They're scared by technical things. When I hear you talk about, well, come to me and I'll tell you what to do to get SEO, you start panicking, but I don't know SEO, I don't understand it. That's why you go to an expert like yourself. Networking is another example. People talk about going to network beyond the room.
Yeah.
If you go networking and you don't say, I'm looking to be introduced to, with a very specific category, and instead you say, I work with anyone, or you list 7 markets, no one's going to remember that. And if you don't say you're looking to be introduced to anyone and you just do a sales pitch, then you're only selling to the room, which is why when I go networking, whether for me or my clients, I always make sure to say, this week, I'm looking to be introduced to anyone you know who X. And you are more memorable, and you've only given people one thing to remember. So those are just 2 examples, and there's many more.
I think you're absolutely right. You're touching. There's so many points there where even to begin. It's you're absolutely right. There's a lot of stigma around this whole thing about, use the term SEO. There's a lot of stigma about that, and because most people are not actually very good at explaining what does that actually mean, and more importantly, what does it actually take to achieve it. So I completely agree with that. The networking thing, you're preaching to the choir there. We all know as smaller business owners that we have to do a certain amount of networking. So, but I just want to play devil's advocate here a little bit, Gary, because a lot of these tools, SEO, networking, you can do a lot of that for free. But is it actually free? Because your time has a cost, doesn't it?
So yes, I agree. That's why when I work with people, I stress to them, especially in the smaller business, an hour a day of sales work, not
Right.
more. You
No.
need the other 7 hours for personal things to run your business, etc. But the problem is people go, so I'll tell you what I'll do. One day a week, I'll do 5 hours of sales. It's
Yeah,
not
it's not going
about
to
that.
work, is
It's
it?
about the
Yeah.
consistency. Monday
Yeah.
to Friday, 1 hour a day. You might say, okay, I'm going to do one networking event a week. I'm going to have one day a week where I do follow up on one-to-ones. If you're not doing one-to-ones in networking, very important. And I cannot stress, you do not know who somebody knows. I'll tell you
No.
something you might not know. My parents' friend, who now lives in Israel, was somebody called Charles Green. He was the royal photographer when he lived
Yeah.
in England.
Oh, absolutely. You have
Who would
no
know that?
idea who
Who
the
would know that
person
I have?
is, you know.
Yeah,
No,
exactly.
no,
And
absolutely.
so a
Yeah.
big mistake people make in networking is they go, I'm only going to do a one-to-one with people I think I can sell to. That's not what networking is. Networking is I meet person X who's connected to person Y, and I didn't know they're connected to person Y, but I had a one-to-one with them and I said, I'm looking for introductions to person Y type people, and boom.
Yeah.
So a lot of people do some of the things that I've said, but they don't do them properly. So to touch on what you're saying, an hour a day of sales doesn't mean an hour a day of phone calls every day. You might say, I only want to do 15 minutes of phone calls. Okay, so call 3 people a day.
Yeah.
Do an
It's
hour a
tough
day of
though.
net,
The
you know.
whole, I completely agree with what you're saying, but in sort of the spirit of transparency, and we're live here, we want to share with and get people to share with us. So I find it difficult to call. I really don't like it. You'd say you don't like the term cold calling, but it's really something that it's not for everyone. And I will hand on heart say to you right now, it's not for me. I'm not very good at it at all. I'm rubbish at it.
So there are lots of replies to that. One is the easiest reply is to say, if that's the case, go on Fiverr, and go and find someone to say, you know what, every day I'd like you to make 10 phone calls for me. We'll make a really quality database together. We'll do the research. You're very big into your lists, which is something we share. And I'll give you a quality list, the right names, the right people, the right industry. I want you to make the calls. So that is one option. You can just pay somebody to do it for you. And if you're only doing a little bit, you could hire someone for very little money. That's number one. Another response would be to say, well, why is it that you're able to go networking and talk to people without being asked to talk to them, but you're not able to pick up the phone and do the same thing?
I know.
And
I know.
different answers will lead you to different. Some people, they'll go, no, I just can't do it. Okay, go to option one and hire someone else. But some people will go, oh, okay, I didn't see it like that. Maybe with some coaching, you can learn to pick up the phone. And again, we're not talking about 100 phone calls a day to random people. That's the other thing. The
No. No.
quality of your data is so important. And I say you've got to put a month's work into building a database before you even pick up the phone.
Mm.
That's the other thing. A lot of people say, I can't just randomly call people, but you're not randomly calling people. I have a client, I hope no one here ever needs to talk to them. I have a client who's an insolvency practitioner in London. Now, the thing is, for them, I have to call certain,
Yeah.
companies and businesses. And sometimes the answer is no, thank you. And other times the answer is yes, we need to talk to you. And my point is that you can't take the rejection personally. And no one ever says to me, oh my gosh, why the heck are you calling me? What's wrong? That's what we associate with, like double glazing salesmen calling you during supper. This is the business world. It's totally legitimate. And it is a big mental block. It's totally legitimate to say, I work with people in your industry. This is how we help them. Do you have a similar issue? Would you like to talk about how we can work together? That's it.
Yeah, yeah. It's about how you approach it. Of course it is. There's no doubt about it. So you've
So yeah,
yeah, no, yeah, carry on, carry on.
no. So either you hire someone, or you work on why you have this mental block, and then you start very small and you say, I'm going to do 15 minutes a day, 3 to 5 calls. That's it. And you build up until you can do half an hour a day of calls. That's it.
Yeah, yeah. No, I get that. It's about, you know, throwing yourself at it and just biting the bullet and just do it in a structured way like you described
Yeah, in a
perfectly.
structured
So
way and with someone who
yeah,
knows what they're doing to guide you. That's very
yeah,
important. You know,
absolutely. So I know obviously you're an expert in this, and I want everyone who needs help with this kind of stuff to contact you and get connected with you. I can't stress that enough. But I know you got an event on. So tell us about this event.
so on the 14th of November at 12 p.m. Eastern time, which is 5 p.m. UK time, we are I'm doing an event with a fantastic woman called Jennifer Elliott. Now, Jennifer, what brought us together was a shared passion for helping small businesses get clients without them having to spend money on marketing or advertising. So, Jennifer is an expert at how to get high quality leads on LinkedIn without paying a single penny.
Right.
So, that's a really key component of the workshop. And then around that, I'm going to be talking about what kind of scripts you should be writing for approaching people, because too many people, and we've covered this before, are feature focused instead of benefit based.
Yeah.
We're also going to then cover how to get more closed deals and how to have less waste of time meetings. And I just want to stress the difference between a one-to-one follow-up from networking, which you don't know how it's going to go. So you have to go there open-minded, versus meetings you have about potential clients. And too many people in the second category, and we've covered this before, have a lot of waste of time meetings that they don't qualify people properly.
Yeah.
And on that side, there's so much you can do to make sure that by the time you speak to someone, there's a much higher chance they're going to close.
Sounds like a really comprehensive event, and I would encourage everyone to sort of find time in the diary to take part in it. It seems like a lot to cover. How long is this event on for? How long? How
It's
long?
3 hours.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. Okay. I
And
thought. Yeah.
not only that, but Jennifer's going to speak once, I'm going to speak twice. We also, to make it even more productive, because we've got to practice what we preach, we're running 2 short networking sessions as part of the event as well. So not only are you going to
Right.
get amazing practical information to implement into your business from Jennifer and myself, you're also going to get to network with other business owners, which will be a great way for you to not only practice the networking tips we give you, but to actually lead to real business between people as well.
Brilliant. Fantastic. Are you gonna record these events? Is going to be streamed live? Um,
So it's very interesting. This is a debate I see across LinkedIn and other platforms. Personally, I'm of the opinion not to record events. And the reason is, when you record an event, it opens the door to people saying, well, I can't be bothered to come at the time you said with all the other people, which is
sure.
half the energy in the room. Send me a recording and I'll watch it on my own. For me, I think that's a sales error.
Sure.
What you can do is record snippets and use them to promote things.
We've got a question here from Sabina coming in from LinkedIn, and
Hey, Sabina.
if you could just sort of tell people again when it is
Yeah,
live.
100%. So the link to the workshop is a simple domain, advertfreesales.com. It's on the 14th of November. It's 12 p.m. till 3 p.m. Eastern time in America, which is 5 p.m. till 8 p.m. in the UK. And in Europe, that would be 6 p.m. till, that would be 4 p.m. till
Sure.
7 p.m.
So
And
Sabina,
that's when
if
it
you
is.
go on, the link next to Gary's name, and it's also in the ticker, then you can go straight to the events page, and you can sign up for it there. So that's great. That's wonderful. So it sounds like it's going to be really well attended. I hope it is. I'm sure it will be. It sounds like it's going to be a fantastic event. So I am. My diary allows it, I will definitely be joining you guys, and let's get as many people signed up for it, because it is a thing. It is a thing. There's so many people who mix up the way they do marketing and sales, and not really doing it, either one of them, any justice really. So to
I,
make the
I,
distinction between the two is important.
I'd like to say a quote that I've said before, I think a long time ago, the first time you interviewed me, but it's been a while. And I think this really does underpin a lot of what we're doing, which is something I say to my clients very often is, please do not confuse being busy with being productive.
Yeah, they're two very different things.
And in sales and marketing, it's so easy to feel that you're being that confusing those feelings. I met someone last week. They said, "Yeah, I'm really, I'm networking every day, 2 networking events a day." I'm like, "Okay, and what follow-up are you doing?" "I'm not doing any. I'm just going to the events. That's 2 hours of my day. So I don't really I was like, "Well, wouldn't you be better off doing only 1 event a day and then spending the other time doing one-to-ones with people?" It's very rare you get business from networking directly straight away. You have to put time in, you have to keep going, but you also have to have the one-to-ones outside. Otherwise, there's no relationship. Why should somebody refer someone to you? They don't know who you are. That's the thing. So all these little tweaks, when you put them in, you could really have a well-oiled sales operation just for an hour a day of work.
Yeah, it takes very little adjustment, isn't it? Most people have most of the skills there available. They just need a bit of
Exactly,
guide
exactly.
across the day. So listen, Gary, thank you very much for this. It's again, anyone, if you aren't already connected with Gary, go and find him on LinkedIn, connect with him, sign up to his events. 14th of November. Um, Time depending on where you are, sat in the world, but it's for everyone. So come and join the event. Gary, just before I let you go, obviously we worked together for a while now. You know about the web guys. We're doing websites for you. Do you want to? Can we kind of to share a couple of words about how you're finding it working with us?
100%. I have to say that I'm really selective about telling people to work with other providers, because Brian, that when you recommend someone, it reflects on you. And with that said, I have no hesitation in saying to work with the web guys, because the websites they built are fantastic. And I would say that if you know what you want, it makes life easier for Brian and his team. But if you don't know what you want, what's great is Brian will guide you and help you to build the kind of site that you're looking for. And so I think to be able to have a high quality website that works really well for the price that you charge, I don't see why people would go elsewhere. I
No, that's
really
very
don't.
kind. That's very kind. Thank you
And
very much
I've
for that.
referred lots of people to you, as you know.
You've been very
So
kind. So
I
that's
I
great.
I back up what I say with action. And
You
I
certainly do.
definitely encourage people to come to the web guys, because it's a simple process. It works well. You are going to have to do a bit of work yourself, but that's kind of related to what we've been talking about with sales and SEO. People, I think, sometimes come into these things going, "Oh, you're the expert, do it all for me." And sometimes you have to go, "Well, actually, no, this is a team effort. You have to put some skin in the game yourself."
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah. It's one of them things in it's life in general. Nothing comes from nothing. We all have to put in a little bit of effort. So listen, Gary, this has been fantastic. It's been far too long since you've been live with me. So thank you for coming on here today. You're a very busy guy. So
Thank you for having me. Thank you for letting me try and help people come to the workshop. It's really going to help you practically. And one final tip I want to give, just because we only gave 2 strategies, so I want to give a third, You know, commercial partners, it amazes me how many people, especially the people that say, I don't like selling, don't realize that having commercial partners is like having a sales team doing your work for you.
Mm.
So another answer to your first question about I don't want to pick up the phone is say, okay, make a list of the kinds of people and businesses who are selling to your target market, and then see if you can work with them. And in a way that if they refer business to you, you offer them a percentage of your fees, and then they're doing the selling for you.
Yeah. No, collaboration, commercial partners, fantastic. Absolutely.
Huge
So,
thing. And again,
yeah,
these are all these things, and none of them require you to spend money. You just have
yeah,
to put a bit of time in.
yeah.
So could really help.
Fantastic. Wonderful, wonderful,
Thank you
wonderful stuff.
so much, Brian. I appreciate
No,
it.
my pleasure. My pleasure. Thank you for coming on. Everyone watching, whether you're watching it live with us or if you're seeing it after we finished up here, please like, share it out if you found any of our content here useful. If we aren't already connected, please connect with both of us, on all the different channels. And that's it. Another Wednesday has gone. We're going to be live again next Wednesday. Keep an eye out on our social medias for the advertising for the events. And everyone out there, take care of yourself, and we shall see you again next time when we once again live. Bye, everyone.
Thanks.